All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages, welcome to episode 75 of the Yellow Card Podcast. With me, as always, Chris Jones. Jonesy, how you doing today, sir?
What's going on? What's going on? We're here.
Not a heck of a lot. So we just finished up watching some action take place today, Champions League, as well as a little bit of Premier League action happening. But as always, podcast is brought to you by the Couch Guy Sports Network out of Boston, Mass. Sponsored by our good friends over at Shocked Energy and Exogon. Chris, you ever feel tired, low of energy, and just unable to focus?
Right now.
I hear you, man. I hear you, and I know that feeling so well. That's why our podcast and the network is sponsored by our good friends over at Shocked Energy. Shocked Energy is a drink made by gamers for gamers, with about 180 milligrams of caffeine to ensure that you're drinking an energy drink in a healthy manner, avoiding the jitters while still being able to capture all the energy that you need to make sure that you are as sharp as a tick. Make sure to check over shockedenergy.com. Try out their watermelon flavor as well as their green apple flavor box, and check out their merchandise. I see that the merchandise is pretty nice. Jones has some merchandise that he owns, so make sure that you check out the merchandise, the flavors, and all that stuff that they got over at shockedenergy.com. Use the code CGSN for 10% off of your order today, and don't worry, they'll ship directly to your door, so you do not have to worry about as to whether they ship or having to pick up somewhere, because they will take care of that. Make sure that you also check out our good friends over at exogon.com if you ever feel the need for relaxing massage at the palm of your hands while not having to leave home or having to pay somebody expensive money to get the massage that you need. Make sure to check exogon.com. Use the code CGS10. Get 10% off of your order today. And again, our good friends at Exogon as well also ship worldwide, so they will deliver it directly to your door. Moving on, today's episode, loaded gun as always. Got Premier League action, Champions League action, Europa League, and as always, every now and then, squeezing in is the FA Cup happening this weekend as well. So without further ado, we're just going to give a quick update on the records as to where we stand, and I'm going to let Jones pick out what topic to start off with this week. So Premier League record, right now we're at 14-12, both of us. After today's action, as Jones went with a perfect 2-0, and I went with a 1-1 after today's action. Champions League. So, although last week we gave you scores, the scores might have told one different story. However, because both of us picked the correct 4 teams that will move on to the next round of action, and because those 4 team picks mattered the most, both of our records improved to 4-0 that week. Therefore, for that week, we went 56-52, myself, and Jones went with a beautiful record of 63-45. After yesterday's action, we both went 0-2, so the boys took a L on that, but we bounced back as I went, I believe, 1-1, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, no, I might have gone 2-0, right? Today?
What, today? Oh, yeah, because you had Villarreal and Chelsea. Yep.
Yeah, I went 2-0, and Jones went 1-1. So our records improved immediately to 58-54 for your boy Diego. And Jones goes to 64-48. Moving on to the Europa League. Records are not so hot, but we're looking to hopefully improve that this week. Both Jones and I get an automatic +2 on this record because of Leipzig moving on, so it's an automatic 2 anyways. So my record improves to 11-14, and Jones goes to 12-13. Pretty close record between the two of us, but not the greatest record between the two of us. So without further ado, we're also not doing an FA Cup record. It's just far too late on the stage at this point. But without further ado, like I said, Jones, why don't you go right ahead and kick us off with the action that you want to get started on?
I mean, why not just go over what happened today? Let's talk Champions League action.
Sure, why not?
So, like Diego said, right now, record 64-48. for me. He's 58 and 54. Obviously, I know yesterday United losing to Atletico Madrid breaks the hearts of the Manchester faithful,
Which
and
we'll
my
talk
wallet.
about that. We'll talk about that because there's data to give to the people here that will draw over as to who people will want to be their next coach. But carry on.
Yeah. But so on top of that, it hurts my wallet because I picked them to win the Champions League final as well. Now we're down to 8 teams. The 8 teams we have are Chelsea, Real Madrid, Man City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Benfica, Atletico, and Villarreal.
Right.
Those 8. So before we dive into what happened last week, the draw happens on Friday. Why don't we predict what the draw could look like?
Okay, we could do that.
It's the quarterfinals, so leagues playing leagues is okay. So do you want me to start or do you want to start?
I think you should start.
Think I should start. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the quarterfinal round will look as follows. I
Okay.
think it's going to be Chelsea and Real Madrid. I think it's going to be Liverpool and Villarreal. I think it's going to be Atletico and Benfica. And I think we're going to get Manchester City and Bayern Munich.
Wow. Okay.
That is what I'm predicting the draw will look like on Friday.
So my draw predictions are the following. I got Inter Milan taking on Chelsea.
Who?
I'm sorry, why did I say Inter? Hang on one second. I got that one wrong. Wow.
About to say, I'm pretty sure we beat Inter Milan.
Yeah, you did. I'm sorry. Villarreal taking on Chelsea. I got Real Madrid taking on Benfica. I got Manchester City taking on Atletico, which that leaves for Bayern and Liverpool to go head to head.
Why do you want me to suffer?
I think those 2 teams are going to be the deciding factor of what the final will look like for this year's Champions League team.
Ugh. I don't know, man. That scares me more than anything.
I think people underestimate how good Benfica played Ajax, which everybody thought Ajax was going to be in the final to begin with. Let's start there. Benfica,
or at least contending for it.
Benfica surprised the hell out of a very well coached Ajax team. So number one, Benfica is underestimated, and them taking on Real Madrid could be a hell of a match. Let's be honest. Real Madrid also had a last-minute fantasy kind of ending against PSG with that 3-1 score.
But the thing is, you and I both saw that coming, so I wouldn't even consider it a fantasy. I would consider it more of a reality because we both could call that coming from a mile away.
So I think we saw it coming, and I think we saw it coming in a way where we thought Real Madrid was going to come off immediately firing in all cylinders. But to be honest with you, that first half, Mbappe and company looked to be in strong possession.
Right.
Pochettino coached the hell out of this PSG team very well in the first half. But I gotta be honest with you, I don't know what happened in the first half in this locker room conversation. We know that afterwards there was a scuffle between Neymar and Donnarumma, which completely unacceptable. And I think we will see some actions to happen there. However, shortly after that, we're all wondering what happened in the locker room during the intermission, because the team just completely fell apart. Neymar wasn't doing his part. Messi was nowhere to be found to begin with. You look up and down the roster, and it was like nobody was there. Di Maria comes in, he was barely a factor. Draxler comes in, also barely a factor. Berardi was more on the floor than anything else. Hakimi picking up stupid yellow cards for no reason. Kimpembe doing the same exact thing. It was like they completely fell apart. And in that falling apart, that's where Benzema, who was the Real Madrid hero, took it upon himself, and 3 goals in less than 20 minutes, basically. So I don't know if we saw it fully coming that way, but we saw it coming potentially with Real Madrid winning. We just didn't see it happening this way.
You saw it happening in the way with Real Madrid overcoming adversity with PSG ahead.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what we saw.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Champions League from this past week, I mean, United gets knocked out, Atletico moves on, Benfica moves on, you have Villarreal moving on against Juventus, and then you have Chelsea moving on against Lille. What was your big surprise besides Benfica, obviously?
I gotta be honest with you. I think my biggest surprise here was Juventus getting shut out at home. Against Villarreal, 3-0 at home. I expected a 2-1 scoreline. I was never expecting a 3-0 scoreline for Villarreal. And frankly, Manchester United left a lot to desire yesterday. They fell into the game of the ref not calling the fouls, which, by the way, that's part of the reason why United completely failed yesterday at home. But it's not the entire reason. It's depressing to see the form that Harry Maguire is in. Like, we both agree that he's not the captain of this team, that he should not be the captain of this team, and that he's not the talent that this team deserves, especially in a very important position as that. But let me tell you, yesterday was atrocious for Harry Maguire. Mistake on mistake on mistakes, and frankly, that game could have easily ended 4-0 for Atletico if it wasn't for David De Gea, who really saved our asses and kept us in the game all along. The goal was kind of stupid. I thought De Gea would dive in for the save. That's a save that he should have. But it happens. But other than that, the whole entire team just fell apart, man. Very undisciplined. No matter what Redknapp was trying to do and the tactics that he was trying to implement, it was like the players went against him, which, again, when you start to question the tactics of somebody that's as knowledgeable as Ralph Redknapp, that's more on the players than anybody else. It's not on the coach. It's not on the staff. It's on you, on the players, really. So that was extremely disappointing. Other than that, I don't think I have much of a surprise at all.
I had a little bit more hope for this Juventus team, but now I'm looking at the roster again. They need some big changes to happen in the summer.
Yeah.
Because Massimiliano Allegri will not put up for the travesty that is this roster at the moment.
No.
Like, I could see them moving on from Paulo Dybala. I could see them moving on from Matthias de Ligt. I could see them moving on from a bunch of people. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised. Moise Kean goes back to Everton after the season as well. So it's just, things are not looking good in Turin right now. And they were this dominant powerhouse for over a decade in the Italian league. And now they're just struggling to stay afloat in the European landscape of football, which is not good.
I would agree. I think what Juventus is going through right now is the very beginning of what United has gone on for the past 9 years. And if, like you said, if actions aren't taking place immediately and somebody who knows what to do doesn't take leadership here, Juventus could be seeing themselves in the same exact bus as Manchester United.
For sure. I wouldn't be surprised either.
But all right, let's move on. So Champions League for now, up until the stage of 8. Like I said, we're 58 and 54 for myself, and Jones is at 64 and 48. Jones, what topic would you like to go into next?
Stick with the Europa League.
I like it. So Europa League, as I stated earlier, not looking so hot for your boys, but we'll look to bounce back. We can get this done. We always figure a way. I'm at 11-14, and Jones is at 12-13. Keep in mind that we both get an automatic good to go on Leipzig, as the game against Moscow was canceled due to all the crisis that's going on with Ukraine and Russia. So, Jones, I'm going to let you get started because I already have my predictions written down, by the way. I want this to be loud and clear. So before Jones says, God damn it, this kid, let's just wait and see if any of these are identical. So I'll let you get started.
All right, so the first game I'm going to start off with the 145 slate for technically St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Bayern Leverkusen hosting Atalanta.
Yep.
Atalanta won 3-2 in the last aggregate at Atalanta, this time at Bayern Leverkusen. Thoughts?
I'm going with 3-1 Atalanta.
I think Atalanta is going to play the defensive game.
Okay.
And I think realistically what's going to happen in the second half, Leverkusen's going to score to tie the aggregate, and then Atalanta is going to steal one late. It's going to finish in a 1-1 draw with Atalanta moving on. Okay. The next game, we got Cervena. See, this is why you should be talking.
Sylvester? Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out either. So good luck.
Versus Rangers. Rangers are up 3-2 in the 3-0 in the aggregate.
Yep.
I think Rangers wins this one 2-0, and I think they solidify that run going into the quarterfinals of the Europa League this year.
I got Rangers moving on at 3-1.
All right, next one we got Galatasaray versus Barcelona.
Yep.
This was a 0-0 draw last time. You and I both didn't see this coming. We thought Barcelona would wipe the doors off with these guys. What are we thinking this time around?
Yeah, so this time it's coming home. It's coming to Camp Nou. We both heard Xavi's press conference after that game. He was not too content with some of the attacking tactics that he put in place. So I think we'll see a different Barca this time, and where the pieces actually work into his favor. I'm going 2-0 Barcelona. And it begins.
I just think Barcelona's not going to blow them out, but I don't think they win by a goal. I think they score 2 here. I think Barcelona wins 2-0 and moves on.
Yep.
All right, next one, we got AS Monaco and Sporting Braga. Braga's up 2-0 in the aggregate. I'll go first here. I think Monaco wins this, but I don't think they get enough to move on. I think Monaco wins 1-0. Sporting Braga moves on to the round of quarterfinals.
Okay, so I got Monaco winning this one 2-0, tying up the aggregate, and Monaco moving on to penalties.
Okay. Next one, we got Eintracht Frankfurt and Real Betis. Frankfurt up 2-1 in the aggregate. I think Frankfurt very defensive heavily at home here. Real Betis really struggled with them last time they played. And I think Frankfurt does what they need to do. I think a 1-1 draw here with Frankfurt moving on.
I think this story will repeat itself. It's at home. Frankfurt has been very good playing at home in their internal league. I agree that we'll see a more defensive Frankfurt, but Real Betis left a lot to desire defensively against Frankfurt. So I think it's a 2-1 score once again, and Frankfurt moves on.
Okay. Lyon and FC Porto.
Okay.
Lyon up 1-0 in the aggregate.
I'll go first. I got Porto winning this one 2-1. It'll go to penalties, and I think Porto moves on.
Okay, I think Porto wins this game 2-0.
Ooh, okay.
Lyon, the way Porto played Lyon last time, I think they figured out what they need to do, And I think they'll get the job done and they'll win 2-0. Final one, the one I most certainly will have on, even though tomorrow is officially March Madness Day for your boy. West Ham and Sevilla. Sevilla up 1-0 in the aggregate.
Yep, I got West Ham showing up big time. It's at their home. West Ham loves their home fan base. I got West Ham moving on at 2-0.
And it begins. West Ham 2-0, just like Diego said.
I like it.
All right. That does it for the Europa League. Let's do the FA Cup first, and we'll finish on the Premier League.
All right, I like it.
Okay, so FA Cup is this weekend. This is very much so a big deal. The first matchup in the FA Cup we have is Middlesbrough and Chelsea.
That's right.
What do you think?
I think Chelsea goes 2-1 against them.
I think the story continues. I don't think Chelsea cares about the FA Cup. I think Middlesbrough wins 1-0.
Wow.
Next one, Crystal Palace and Everton. This is Sunday at 8:30 in the morning, Eastern time. The other game is Saturday at 1:15 in the afternoon.
So
Crystal Palace and Everton.
Yeah, so I got Everton winning this one 1-0.
I'm indifferent on this. I really like Crystal Palace. Everton's just kind of been like a shell of themselves, I think. But I'm gonna go Everton 1-0. Next one is Southampton and Manchester City.
So same score. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with City winning this one 4-0.
Ooh. I think they're gonna put their B team out. I don't think they care enough. I
don't.
like Southampton 2-1. Last one, Nottingham Forest and Liverpool.
Liverpool wins this one 2-0.
I believe it's at Nottingham too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's 2-1 Liverpool. I think Nottingham Forest is gonna play them very, very tough, and I'm very excited to watch this matchup unfold. But I think Liverpool just gets it done.
Okay.
So what do you think the semifinals looks like? We'll predict right now.
We'll see Chelsea taking on Manchester City and Liverpool versus Everton.
I think we'll see. So Liverpool, Everton, and then Chelsea, Man City.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's going to be. I'm going to say it's going to be Everton and Middlesbrough, and it's going to be Liverpool and Southampton.
Wow.
Yep, that is that. I'm trying to see where the FA Cup. I'm trying to see when that semifinal draw is. Because that is what I'm looking forward to seeing. Draw fixtures, results, guide to each round. Let's see. Quarterfinal. That's okay. All right. Final thing, do you want to do?
It's time to talk Premier League.
Yeah, we can talk Premier League.
Yes, sir. It's getting very, very, very interesting. As I said,
especially. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, our Premier League record improves to 14-12 for both of us. Interesting stuff going on here. We got 5 matches going on this weekend. Well, throughout the week, basically, because we got the first one going on tomorrow and then some more following up after that. I'll let you get,
after this weekend, international break, right? They're finalizing the World Cup.
Yeah,
correct.
That's right.
That's another topic we're getting into next week. All right. So let's start with the EPL this week. Everton hosting Newcastle.
I got Newcastle bouncing back on this one. They barely lost to Chelsea to begin with, and they played a very good game against them. So, to be frankly honest, I don't think Everton is up to par to be able to handle what Newcastle's been bringing on. So I'm going 2-1 Newcastle winning this one.
So for me, I think of it like this. Newcastle's been one of the best teams since they
Eddie Howe.
switched ownership, switched coach, since they switched everything up. Everton, with 3 games at hand, still they're still fighting for relegation, but they still have 3 games at hand that they have to make up. So I'm not really stressed about this. I like Newcastle. And it's funny you said 2-1 because I'm also going 2-1 with that.
It's very funny, isn't it?
All right, next one. Wolves hosting Leeds.
I think this is a good competitive match. I see, I think we'll see a good Jesse Marsh led team. However, not enough to be able to handle Wolves. I'm going 3-2 Wolves.
I think you're wrong here. Earlier in the season, they played. It was a 1-1 draw. I think we see the same thing here. I think 1-1 draw for Wolves and Leeds.
Okay.
Next one, we get Aston Villa hosting Arsenal.
I love what Aston Villa's doing. I love what Villa Coutinho's looking like, especially under Steve Gerrard's leadership and all that stuff. I just think Arsenal's on a whole different level. So I'm going 2-1 Arsenal.
I think Arsenal wins 2-0. I think more so because they're going to have a sour taste in their mouth after getting punched in the mouth at home against Liverpool earlier today. So yeah. I think they're going to bring it out and really take it to Aston Villa. All right, Sunday we got Leicester and Brentford.
I got a 1-1 draw between those two. There's not a lot of differences between those two.
See, I almost went Leicester 1-0, but I just think Brentford defensively is very solid. I'm actually going to go 0-0. I don't think we're going to get a goal in this one.
Okay.
And the final one, Tottenham hosting West Ham.
These two teams look so similar right now. Going through almost the same. Actually, Tottenham has been better than West Ham in past days. They've been 3-2 in their past 2 matches versus a West Ham that has gone 2-1. I'm going with West Ham sneaking out a late one on this one. So a 2-1 victory for West Ham, but I don't think there's a lot that separates the two.
So they played earlier in the year at West Ham. They beat Tottenham 1-0. Tottenham then beat them in the League Cup 2-1. So they've split so far this season. And I realistically at Tottenham, you think Tottenham would be the favorite here, but I really do like West Ham. Again, same score as you, 2-1. All right, that does it for
the Premier League
stuff. Also, so I'll tell you right now, Premier League fans, we have a race for the top. City and Liverpool, 1 point apart, same amount of points. They match up April 10th. I don't know what you're doing on April 10th, but I'm telling you right now, circle your calendar because at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, you're basically going to see who's going to be able to control their own destiny when it comes to winning the Premier League title.
And frankly, another team that people must watch out for is Arsenal.
Yeah, for Arsenal to get in the Arsenal's right now in the top 4 at 51 points with 2 games at hand as well, so they can solidify themselves in there as well. But like we said, I think the top 3 are kind of already, whether it's Manchester City and Liverpool flip-flopping. Chelsea is currently 8 points ahead of Arsenal for 4th, but you have Arsenal at 51, Man United at 50, West Ham and Tottenham at 48, and then Wolves at 46. So again, these games are happening, and it's next 9-10 games, whatever teams have left. It's going to be exciting.
Another thing to keep in mind for Manchester United, this is a very tough stretch, and we're going to be talking about Manchester United for the next 5 minutes here. Number one, they're kind of on break right now for the time being. They're no longer in Champions League action, so they kind of take a break for a while. We won't be seeing them playing until April 2nd, where they face Leicester City. However, with that said, They're in deep water because if either West Ham or Tottenham wins, right now they would be looking at themselves completely out of any European competitions, whether it's Champions League or Europa League. They would be at their worst since probably 4 seasons now. So that's one to take a look at. Secondary part to that is with them basically and virtually almost out of European competition. I'm sure that the new ownership of the team, the new management of the team, I should say, and Richard Arnold is not going to want to keep Rangnick as the coach. However, he's going to keep him in an advisory role to help Richard Arnold. Realistically, who do you think could be the next coach for Manchester United? I have 4 candidates in mind, but who do you think could be?
I still think it's going to be Brendan Rodgers, man. I just, that's how I see United going moving forward. I would be surprised if it's Eric Tahat or if it's Pochettino, but other than that, it just seems like Brendan Rodgers is going to be the guy that they're going to want moving forward.
So I'll tell you this.
Especially with the way the Leicester's playing out right now.
I'll tell you this. There are 4 candidates in my mind right now that could very well be the next head coaches of Manchester United. Obviously, I like the option of Erik ten Hag. I think he would be a phenomenal fit for this team. His contract is up at the end of the year, so could very well be in negotiations. And Richard Arnold will not be afraid to splash the money for Erik ten Hag. He's also one of the coaches that Rangnick is advising strongly for. One of the most feared coaches in European league competition right now. Ajax just was surprised by Benfica, but I don't think anybody saw that coming. Not even experts saw that coming. So that's one. Interestingly enough, I think Luis Enrique, the previous coach of Barcelona, could very well be the next head coach of Manchester United. He's out of a job, looking for a job. Money's not much of an interest to him. He just wants to be in football. So that could very well be an option. Believe it or not, while Thomas Tuchel said that he would like to stay with Chelsea, the current situation for Chelsea is not looking very well, politically wise, financially wise either. With that said, Thomas Tuchel could very well say, you know what? I'm not going to be able to get new players. I'm not going to be able to do anything for this club. If anything happens next year, I don't want any of my responsibility. My record here has been very good, and I want to continue to shine through. He could very well take over Manchester United. Very well.
I think that's a good one.
Rangnick and him have a very good relationship. And if anybody taught Thomas Tuchel how to coach, was Ralph Rangnick. We heard this before. So could very well be one of the advisory points of Ralph Rangnick, which could resuscitate who Manchester United used to be. Because if there is a coach that people will want to respect, especially in this United locker room that needs a huge do-over, would be Thomas Tuchel. The other name that I could think of that is not Mauricio Pochettino is actually Sevilla's current coach, Lopetegui. I think he's due up for a new opportunity, for a stronger opportunity, and I think he gets that in Manchester United. He's done a phenomenal job at Sevilla, but it's now time to take it up a notch. He was not treated fairly at Barcelona. I think he was treated like a dog there. He was not valued, and I mean, the previous ownership of Barcelona never treated anybody correctly. That's why they lost Lionel Messi. So therefore, I think Lopetegui could also be a head coach. I do not believe that Mauricio Pochettino will be the next coach of Manchester United. I think Brendan Rodgers has higher odds of being the coach rather than Mauricio Pochettino. And one last but not least, dark horse candidate that could very well be the coach of Manchester United. It's Laurent Blanc, who was able to improve PSG's um, defensive game as well as the forward pieces. He's the reason why Kylian Mbappe is part of PSG. So if there's somebody that I could trust offensively, would be him. I don't think he will get the call. I think he will get interviewed. I don't think he will get the nod, but pay attention because he could very well be in the race of coming back and being established at a very good team like Manchester United. So those are my 5 candidates. But for now, I think United's in hot alert right now. Very hot alert. This could be the worst that the team has finished in the past 4 years. And we all wanted Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be out, but I gotta be honest with you. I still don't think he was the reason for United to fail this year.
No. I think realistically, I think it's this roster is
Yes.
not living up to the potential. And realistically, I think there's going to be some changes.
There has to be some changes because these players just do not take ownership of anything. They want to be a lot of crybabies and state what they want to say rather than have the confidence in their coach. Redknapp is by far one of the best tacticians in the game, said by many coaches, including some others outside of this league. They just don't want to respect them. And with that said, it's either a locker room do-over or a coach that's going to incest fear in them. And I agree with basically what Paul Scholes said yesterday during the after-match post-conference. He's dead on. These people do not want to respect any coach that want to come in here. Therefore, somebody needs to incest fear in them and let them know that their jobs are not there fully guaranteed.
For sure.
So with that said, any last minute thoughts? I don't have any, but I don't know if you do.
Stay tuned for next week because we're going over World Cup qualifiers, last leg.
That's right. It's the World Cup year, last leg, qualifiers here. A lot happening World Cup wise. So stay tuned. Episode 76 will be coming out next week. But with that said, find us on Twitter at Podcast Card, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, whatever you use to listen to our podcast. Just look us up, Yellow Card Podcast. We'll be there. Rate and subscribe to our YouTube channel under Couch Guy Sports. And last but not least, check out all the content on CouchGuySports.com. Episode 75 concludes here. Diego Galvez, your host, Chris Jones. Thank you all so much. Until next week. See yous.